Now we are discussing about the another asexual method, that is budding. We can observe the process of budding both in unicellular organisms and even in multicellular organisms. We can observe this budding in yeast cells and also in hydra. What happens in budding? You can observe the structure of hydra, right? In the first picture, you can observe a knob-like structure. A outgrowth has been protruded out from the body of the hydra. Slowly the outgrowth has been increased in size, and as the outgrowth increased in size, and slowly it gets detached from the parental organism. This is how budding occurs in hydra. These buds, what happens, slowly they develop into new individuals. When they mature, they detach from the parental organism and they become independent organisms. This is how the process of budding occurs in hydra. Okay, next let's go to the another process, that is spore formation in rhizobus. Rhizobus is nothing but, children, if you take a wet bread, if you take the bread, if you make it wet, what happens? After 1 to 2 days, you can observe the formation of fungus on that. Slowly, day by day, it also changes in color. This is nothing but the fungus which was grown on the moist bread is called as rhizopus. Let's see how spore formation is a type of asexual reproduction in rhizopus. Now here we can observe the structure of rhizopus. Now in this diagram you can observe two different parts. Yes or no, children? The thin slender like part, the filament like structure or the thread like structure is called as hyphae. Understand? And this hyphae is the non-reproductive part. This non-reproductive part is called as hyphae. We can see the bob-like end or the spherical bob at the end of the hyphae. This is called as sporangium. If we observe the structure of the sporangium, it contains number of spores inside. Understand? These spores, when they get favorable conditions, they develop into new organisms again when they comes in contact with the moist surface. This is how the process of spore formation occurs in rhizopus. Next we are going to discuss with the another asexual mode of reproduction, that is vegetative propagation. What is vegetative propagation, children? Propagation means production of new organism, new plant. What is vegetative propagation? We all know what is the structure of a typical plant. Plant contains two type of parts. They are vegetative parts and reproductive parts. Now we can able to see the vegetative parts of the plant. What is the reproductive part? Flower is the reproductive part, whereas the remaining all root, stem, leaves are the vegetative parts of the plant. Now these are the normal examples like carrot which can propagate through root, stem which can stem. The example is potato, onion, ginger, etc., where the propagation occurs through stem. And the typical example what we learn in the propagation through leaf is bryophyllum. In the structure of bryophyllum, we can observe the bud-like structure at the margin of the bryophyllum. There what happens, these buds are called epiphyllous buds. They gradually increases in size, gradually detaches from the parental organism and develops into new organism. What is needed is for the propagation they need the appropriate condition and they develop into new organisms from the vegetative parts of the plant like root, stem and leaf. These are the natural methods of vegetative propagation. Next we are going to discuss about artificial methods of vegetative propagation. What are the artificial methods? Whatever the topics which we have discussed before, they will occur in a natural ways. Natural means the propagation occurs in a natural way. Now we are discussing artificial means. Now we are going to perform these methods for our convenience and for our purposes. The artificial methods of vegetative propagation are cutting. It may be stem cutting. Here we need to collect the mature stem. We need to sow it in the soil to develop into new plant again. The another method you can observe in the picture is layering. This method of layering we can observe in the plant jasmine. The branch which is near to the ground should be selected and it should be sown in the soil. As it will come out, we should put a support like stone on it. Then gradually what happens, we need to pour the necessary requirements, water, sunlight, etc. Then what happens, slowly the part of the plant which was buried in the soil will get differentiated into new plant again. Then we can cut the branch from its mother plant. This process is called as layering, which happens in plants like jasmine. The another process which we are going to discuss is grafting. What is meant by grafting here? It is nothing but union of two different stems. The desired qualities are selected and we have to select two different types of stems. And one of the stem we have to select in such a way, the stem which was rooted should be strong and it should be rooted and it should be very strong and disease resistant. And the piece of stem which we are collecting for a desired quality, it is called as scion. The scion and stalk will be united in the process of grafting and gradually the tissues will merge and develop into a new plant. Generally we can see this process of grafting in different fruit plants, example guava. Now we are going to discuss about advantages and limitations in vegetative propagation. What are the advantages we have to discuss? The plants which are formed in vegetative propagation, they are identical to the parent. Next, the desired characters are preserved for long time or for further generation, for numerous generations. Next, the mode of multiplication is fast. More number of plants are produced in a less span of time. Next, seedless fruits are produced in this method. All these are the advantages of vegetative propagation. Children, advantages and disadvantages in vegetative propagation is very much important. You need to concentrate properly. Along with the advantages, there are some limitations in vegetative propagation. Let's see the limitations. What are the limitations? During the process of vegetative propagation, as the organisms are propagating continuously, the vigor may be lost. Understand? Next point, as number of plants are produced in a short span of time, what happens, it results in overcrowding, which increases competition for food, nutrients, etc. In that condition, all the new individuals cannot survive. Another limitation is whatever the characters, undesirable characters are there, it will be transmitted along with the desirable characters. The last limitation what we are going to discuss is new varieties are not produced as the process occurs from the single parent. So these are the different methods of vegetative propagation what we have learned. Hope you have understand all the different methods and okay, thank you.